Hey, for Wednesday, August 12th, 2020, this is the Pro and Con Show. I'm your host, Michael James Ott, and as always, welcome to the show. Thanks for watching. Just a couple seconds, of course. Purpose of the show, trying to convince everybody to get more involved. And in a big way, it's to ferret out the truth. We're going to talk in another couple of shows about the truth and how you know what is true and what isn't true. Because I hear the comment made to me very often. I don't even know what's true anymore. So we'll talk about that. But not in this show. In this show, we're going to talk about fear. So I've told you that Mr. Trump, I'm a 59-year-old white man. And so I guess their algorithms or whatever say that I'm likely to be some kind of supporter of his, and again, not to have anything to do with Republican versus Democrat. I just strongly believe, and I base that on my perception, what seems to be a data-driven true thing. Just like the earth is round and not flat, Mr. Trump has significant mental health issues. And one is that he has this extreme self-absorbed personality that, and it's truly an extreme and some kind of major mental health problem because of that. And then secondly, clearly his agility, his mental agility is degrading. And so if you watch videos from 20 years ago versus now, he has the command of maybe 100, 200 words. And so he repeats them constantly. And he makes many other gaffes in everything that he does. And yeah, it all speaks to early onset dementia, which is why I am not a supporter of his. And those are the facts as far as why I do not support him. But that doesn't stop him and his agents from sending me text messages and emails all the time. And so I get them all the time. And one of the things that he and his organization, his campaign do is they pound on this fear. They're trying to instill a level of fear in people here in America. So I'm going to flip my tablet here and I'll show you, and you can pause the video and read exactly what he says here. But I want to show you these, and then I'm going to talk about them. So here's the two. Get them where you can see them. Hold them there for a bit. Like I say, if you want to pause the video later and or go back and look at it, you can read them for yourself. But this is all based on fear, and he also throws in a few propaganda techniques like simple labels and stuff like that. So on the left here it says, we need to make sure you're aware how important these next 82 days can be. So this is, I think there's 81 days until the election now. So these were given to me or sent to me yesterday. While President Trump and Vice President Pence are working to restore law and order, Slow Joe and Phony Kamala, okay, so they got to throw in the negative barbs here, are trying to destroy our nation. They will raise your taxes. They will cut police funding. They will kill, raise, kill, destroy, all these in capital letters. Vital American energy jobs. They will open our borders to illegal immigrants, and they will appease socialist dictators. The stakes have never been higher, and only you can stop them. And we need to send a strong message to the left that America will never be a socialist nation. Okay, so there's one. And then now Kamala Harris also has been picked by Joe Biden as his vice president. And so Kamala Harris is the meanest, most horrible, most disrespectful, most liberal of anyone in the U.S. Senate. I cannot believe that Joe Biden would pick her as a running mate. Everything is on the line for us now. These two corrupt career politicians have made it clear they want to protect sanctuary cities, protect criminals, take away your Second Amendment rights, and destroy America. And I'm calling on my best supporters to step up and fight back. This is so important that I've upped the stakes, and so they're asking for a donation. And again, this 700% match, which they've offered me, I don't know how many times, 50 times over the last few weeks, which I've said in past videos, pretty difficult to do unless Mr. Trump is actually matching, and in his political or in the publicly required documents that the candidates have to submit, he is not contributing to his campaign, so he's not matching, and it can't really happen otherwise. And this is the amazing thing about our current democracy, is that they're going to allow this to occur, and it's basically fraudulent statements, and step by step, probably no one will ever go back and fix it or prosecute this or anything. But anyway, I want to focus on the fear. So even right now, we are in we have this pandemic. The novel coronavirus is killing people, and it's killing, I think we're up to about 170,000 Americans minimum that it's killed up through today. And it's going to be many tens of thousands more because of the terrible way that our government has reacted to it, and in a way led by Mr. Trump mostly, but also other people in his organization or in his pyramid of supporters. We've failed terribly in actually adequately addressing this, and it's horrible. Okay, it's horrible. It's bad that people are dying, and it's really bad that so much of this could have been avoided by having a very strong leadership thing. And when I say strong leadership, I'm not talking about like sending the National Guard into the streets. I'm talking about the leader standing before the average U.S. citizen and speaking in a heartfelt, supported by science and fact way discussion of, this is what needs to be done. Here's the strategy, step by step, how we're going to address this virus, and how we're going to try to hold the number of deaths to a few handfuls or hundreds or maybe a few thousand, as opposed to easily we could get to a place where we will have more deaths in America from this than we had in World War II, and that's a travesty. But even that, even the the horrible nature of this coronavirus, and the fact that we have to act, you still would not use fear to try to enact some action. What you do is you communicate. So you really, based on science and fact and medical advice and so on, you come, here's a strategy, here's what we're going to do. and you effectively communicate, okay? You give speeches, you make sure things are published in newspapers, you go on various talk shows and stuff on our televisions, and you as the president and your agents, and you have a consistent message step by step. And in this particular case, the consistent message should have been, we're going to amplify our capability to test as fast as we can. We're going to spend $200 billion to get testing, a huge capability in testing as fast as we can, as accurate as we can. And in the meanwhile, you and I are going to do things that make sense. And no, it's not going to be convenient. And no, we're not going to like it all the time. But yes, we are going to spend every moment of time that we can away from other people. Even within our own homes, we should not be close to each other. We should spend all of our time at least 6 feet apart. Further, if we can do it. Further, if it makes sense and is feasible, we should do that all the time, especially when we go outside and are interacting with others. We are not going to have large groups of people. We're going to try to stay by ourselves or stay in small groups. And when we do meet in any way, shape, or form, we're going to keep those distances. We're going to wear masks, which will help mitigate how much we could possibly transmit to somewhere. And we're going to wash our hands a lot, and we're going to be mindful that especially if we want to touch our eyes or mouth or nose or anything like that, we want to wash our hands thoroughly or use a sanitizer, an alcohol-based sanitizer, thoroughly before you do those things. And you have to remind yourself to do those things. And yes, it's not convenient, but it's what we need to do. And just a simple, appropriate message, and okay, you could use whatever analogies to for example, World War II, I just mentioned a few minutes ago. So during World War II, the public that did not go off to actually fight in the war, they revved up the manufacturing systems, and there was all kinds of sacrifices made here. So sacrifices in food, sacrifices in clothing, sacrifices in anything that you could get, buying items like toasters or whatever, because we were converting all of our manufacturing capability into making machines of war, so tanks and bombers and fighter planes and all those kinds of things. And that was a necessary thing. And people knew that it was necessary because the leadership of this country, and I've said so many times before, leadership is so important. Leadership is everything. And Mr. Trump is not leading. He's promoting fear, and he's trying to control whatever percentage of the population he can by pushing an agenda of fear in the hopes that people will follow him. And I'll tell you, being a former military person, yes, some people will follow out of fear, but it's a very, very weak leadership tactic, and it's much more powerful and capable if you lead by example, by teaching, by influencing, by convincing people that the path forward is the right path. All right, so for the Pro and Con Show, my name is still Michael James Ott, and until the next show, bye for now.